ambushed apostate called in the other night. He calls Kent Hovind, confronts him on the Ark encounter, protest absence. I didn't show up. He's got 300 subscribers, so never mind. Okay. Here's some of the comments on there. Have you ever turned down a debate on creation? 389. I'm looking to get to 1,000 before I die, so hurry. Okay. Here's Cloudy Bowels. You have that thing you did on Cloudy Bowels? He comments on all the channels. Anytime I'm on anything, he wants people to notice him. Okay, on the count of 3, everybody say, hi, Cloudy. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Cloudy. We noticed you. Now go away, okay? Fact, Kent claimed he was going to meet the atheists at the Ark rally. Fact, Kent didn't turn up. He introduced the matter of numbers attending later as a feeble excuse. Well, Joseph, you were there. When we were up dismantling the giant crab, we talked about it and said, look, they've only got 10 people signed up at the time or something like that. You go, set up a camera, and be ready to film. You could have done it from your phone.
So Kent actually confirming here what I said in my comment. The matter of the numbers was introduced later, and it's just a feeble excuse. Kent was always going there. He was boasting about it for weeks before. He was going to go and turn up at the protest. They'd probably be too chicken to talk to him. And it was him, the one that was too chicken to turn up and ran. And he doesn't address that. He changes it to the topic of numbers. Well, there weren't only 10 there for a start. There were a lot more than that. And the question of whether Joseph had a camera or didn't have a camera or was doing whatever was totally irrelevant to the thing. The fact is, Kent didn't turn up, and neither did Joseph, as we'll see.
Right. Well, they claim he didn't have a camera there. You had your phone, which has a camera on it, okay? Yeah, I was very willing to debate, but I'm not.
So Joseph virtually admits, in a sort of a way, that he didn't go. It's very difficult to hear his comments because, Kent does this all the time, as though we're being able to listen directly to Joseph's reply. But he really sort of admits he didn't turn up. So Kent doesn't address that. He just goes on to something different.
I'm not going to waste a whole day of my time with lots to do with pretend people that don't want to hear anyway.
So now he's not going to waste his time for something that people don't want to hear anyway. Well, he already knew that people didn't really want to hear, but he'd still been boasting about going there. Is that so difficult for these DAL morons to understand? Really? The fact that guy is wiggling and squiggling and squirming and worming to try and get out of this, instead of just saying, look, guys, I changed my mind, or I was chicken. No, he comes up with all these feeble excuses, easily swallowed by the very, very foolish people that live at Dinosaur Adventure Land.
So call in. We can do debates by remote. There's a thing called technology. We can have debate. I thought about too late. Ambushed Apostle is talking about how I had to be there live to do the debate. Yet he's doing the debate with me by Skype.
What a total non sequitur. That's just nothing to do with it. Once again, Kent running from the real issues where he did not turn up.
Anyway, so Claude says, going to meet at the Ark rally. Kent didn't turn up. Let's see. He's simply the chicken he accuses others of being. Well, Claude, I'll debate you on creation evolution if you'd like. If you have any evidence for it, show it to me. Okay? Here we go.
So he'll debate me on creation and evolution. Well, he distorts the meaning of evolution anyway. He does this 6 types, not just the theory of evolution, which is really what most people know by the term, evolution, capital E, if you like. He has it to 6 different times, cosmic, blah, blah, blah. So yes, I'll extend that. Kent, I'll extend it to debating the evolution of your marriages and the evolution of your taxes and situations. Yeah, so by that basis, I'm happy to debate you. You won't debate me, though, I know that.
Desk. I was in Kentucky. Hawaiian shirt guy is dishonest. Who's that? This is a Bangladesh shirt. Yeah. Was there over a dozen speakers scheduled, and many of us, myself included, captive desk, whatever that means, took the mic. Joseph is dishonest. Hawaiian shirt guy is too. We had plenty of parking, ambushed apostate, and others were working parking. No one there to talk or debate or set up any such thing. There was a generator as well for power. So no one but protester, and no one protesters any equipment there. The best of his weak, dishonest claim was they drove by and took a picture from their vehicles. You know what you did, Joseph? You parked across.
I stood across the street at the restaurant. I was taking videos.
Yeah.
I saw the police out there and everything. I was there.
Okay, did they know you were there? You
Yeah,
told.
I was in contact with Kentucky Atheists.
In Kentucky Atheists.
He was supposed to call me if somebody wanted to debate you. I didn't hear everything. I can show you my phone.
So you stayed right there, and if anybody would have wanted to debate, you would have done it and broadcast it. And I'll still broadcast it. Like, call in right now. You look.
What a load of rubbish. Yes, he was spotted. Joseph, that's his tech guy, was spotted there driving past or slowing down, whatever. He never stopped. So the idea that he was in any way able to or going to offer some sort of a debate by remote is just ludicrous. And it's just another one of Hovind's lies. Unbelievable. This man is a Christian liar. He's a shame to true Christians, people who actually have their faith and honor it.
Go on live. This is live on all of our channels. We got nothing to hide. Okay. Rumble is streaming to the profile and not the channel. What does that mean?
That's for the audience. It's going to a different Rumble channel than we usually go to. So
My brain is maxed out on this kind of stuff, Joseph. You handle it, okay? Let's see.
Well, yeah, letting Joseph handle the tech is one of your first mistakes. That's why many of your videos start with no sound and constant bulls ups. If you'll pardon a perversion of my surname, it's just unbelievable. His tech is as bad as his science.
I'm pretty smart on quite a few topics, actually.
There's the narcissist, the guy that, the different things. He was the school chess champion, the tennis champion, probably debating champion, whatever, champion at dating over 300 girls at high school. I should add, when he was a student there and not apparently when he was a teacher. He's just a complete blowhard and braggart. I think the English word for it is a braggart and a blackguard as well.
Let's see. Claude writes in again. Joseph, shut him off, Joseph, shut him off. But Kent,
yeah, they all laugh at that. And the reason is that, after Kent issued these various, meaningless challenges to debate anyone, anytime, with half his brain tied behind his back, and come on his show, why are you so chicken? So various people have gone on there, and then if they start to make a point that embarrasses Kent in any way or makes him look bad or as stupid as he is, his phrase is, shut him off, Joseph, shut him off, shut him off. And I've got clips of that. I've put that up. You can actually look and see I'm telling the truth here. And just shuts the person down. Shut up, shut him off, shut him off. And then he'll say, his first step is normally one topic at a time, but it's Kent that changes the topics. This is just so hypocritical. It's just typical of Kent. So that's why there's that little bit of laugh, because they realize this is true. Yeah, I debate anybody, anywhere, anytime. Shut him off, Joseph, shut him off, shut him off. Oh, Joseph. Oh, my God.
Kent says he isn't afraid. This is because the guy was constantly interrupting me. Look, it's my show.
Oh, so it's your show. So you invite someone on, but it's your show. So they should be very careful not to, in any way, score points over you, should they? Well, that just shows you how meaningless it is. And they're not interrupting you, and you can actually go back and listen. I've put up you don't want to listen to the lot. You go and listen to the very reasonable people who are making very reasonable points, and they just get shut off by this clown masquerading as a doctor or four PhDs. Yeah.
He was asking a question. I'm trying to answer it. I go one topic at a time, and he keeps interrupting. So yes, I'll do the same for you, Claude. Okay, we'll shut you off if you try to interrupt.
Every time I've tried to go on the program, I've been shut off as soon as they realized who I am, because I'm a big threat to someone like Hovind who uses bullying to get his own way.
Let's see. I'm 72 years old. None of the other guys can keep up with me. Cloudy, again, I got another comment. A teacher of math and science with 4 PhDs who refuses to discuss algebra. Cloudy, listen to me. I can discuss lots of topics. I bet I know about engines, internal combustion engines.
I mean, this guy boasted about teaching algebra and various other things. And when someone comes on and challenges him to discuss that, oh no, he suddenly won't do it. Because, the reality, he has zero qualification in the subject of algebra at all, nothing, not even in math. And he just lies when he says he majored in math and science. He majored in nothing at anything higher than a high school level, and you don't count that as a major. So this guy's just decided he's going to teach math and science at some school for retrograde students who are going to go the rest of their lives believing that Noah's Ark is a scientific story or something. I mean, my goodness, very easy, just teaching rote learning to those sort of people, not looking into why and research or anything like that. It's just memorizing things. He'd be okay at that. He could memorize that.
More than you do. I better know more about electricity than you do.
Ooh.
I've wired houses, many of them.
Oh,
I better know about more plumbing than you do.
Well, you probably
I better know about more how air conditioners work.
Wow.
I better know a lot of topics: algebra, geometry, trig, biology, earth science.
Well, I would challenge you on that, especially your algebra, your geometry and trigonometry. You throw those words around, but you wouldn't pass a test at any form of university level. You wouldn't, not at set in exam conditions. But that's just you boasting again, Kent.
I only got time for one, and that's evolution. So that's all I'm going to worry about. Let somebody else argue about all that stuff. Okay?
But then don't bring those other topics up, Kent. The thing is you do, and you say how sort of shit hot you are and those sorts of things. I mean, you people don't just come out of the blue with this. You're the one that makes bold claims.
Okay. I bet you don't even know what the word algebra means. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Kent wants to debate everybody, but just not you. No, I'll debate you on creation. Anybody on evolution, okay? He wants to debate people who knows won't debate him. Well, Nimrod, that's simply not true, okay? He's lying about the ark non-encounter and not letting you talk. Joseph, you were there. If they have another one, we'll send a representative again. Why don't you guys have your rally down here?
No, Joseph wasn't actually there, unless you count driving past there. He did not park and stop there. So, no, he wasn't there, Kent. You know that. Stop lying about it. So the excuse now, well, if you have another one, I go, why didn't you come down here? It's not the point. The point, Kent, and could be understood by a very, very young child in a proper school system, is that you said you were going and then you didn't turn up, and you're just making up all these excuses.
In Lennox, and we can debate right here live.
Oh,
yeah, simple.
Yeah, simple.
So I did a debate with Jeannie Scott, the National Center for Science Education at Berkeley, California. I was in North Carolina or something at the time. We did the one by phone. Wow, they had the technology way back then too. Wow. 16,000 subscribers. This is Jeannie Scott, the National Center for Science Miseducation at Berkeley. Here's some of the comments here. It's amazing to see how Kent has literally not changed a single one of his talking points for decades. Well, the mind illuminated, that's because truth doesn't change. When I was a little boy, I learned 2 + 2 is 4. You got a calculator there, Joseph? Can you check that? They haven't changed that, have they?
You want to see my clip I put up of that clip, and then about 3 or so other clips where Kent gets basic math wrong. And then I thought that was quite humorous. So, and here's this brilliant mathematician, not to mention scientist as well, and he just gets basics totally wrong, percentages and various other things. Just basic adding he can get wrong. So, just sort of shut up about those sorts of things, Kent, if I was you.
Same thing. See, simple guys, truth doesn't change. So I was teaching the truth way back then. I said, cows always produce cows. There are no exceptions, none. Nobody's ever seen one. But you guys want us to believe by faith that cows are related to penguins. This is stupid. This is a propaganda poster. You'd have to go to college for years to be dumb enough to believe this poster.
Yeah, I think we should nominate Kent for a Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize for this thing that he's saying. I mean, he would overturn established science from many brilliant scientists. You know, to believe Kent, you would have to reject all those brilliant scientists and think that a preacher from Alabama whose sole scientific achievement is to flick a rubber band and to fold a paper airplane, you'd have to think that Kent was superior, some special knowledge to them.
Can't do it right away. It takes years of brainwashing. You finally come out and say, yes, Master, I believe. Yes, Master, I believe. Please give me my degree so I can publish in accredited journals where everybody else has been brainwashed.
He's very jealous of people with real degrees. That's for sure. You know, a real PhD is very much a threat to this con man who purchased PhDs from diploma mills. You just send in the check and you get one back. That's virtually what it is.
Atheists say the universe is billions of years old to help their trillions and trillions of impossible coincidences.
Atheists actually only believe in one less God than you do, Kent, because you don't believe in the Hindu God, you don't believe in Thor, you don't believe in the Viking gods, many of the Olympic gods, you don't believe in any of those. So you're an atheist in regard to them, but so most of us atheists would believe in one less God than you do, Kent.
By the way, call Jeannie. I'll debate her anytime. Bring it up.
Well worth listening to that debate. She wiped the floor with Kent, and he's just such a smug person. And she just very calmly wiped the floor with the fool of a man.
National Center for Science Education in Berkeley, California.
Yes, it's double worse for Kent because she was a woman, and you know Kent thinks a woman, and he resorts to such childish things. It's calling it, instead of Berkeley, it's Berserkly. He uses these sort of boring old jokes that he dredges up and thinks is so funny, and it's just basically it's childish. No real scientist that acts in the way that Kent does, that's for sure.
Okay. Did I tell you about the time I went there, Joseph? I went to the National Center. I'm walking around looking at stuff. The pastor at the church, I was speaking somewhere near Berkeley. We were in there walking around and looking at their stuff. This guy walked past me looking at me kind of funny. Turned around, walked back, looking at me kind of funny. His name was Skip something. He worked there. Finally, he walked over. He said, Are you Kent Hovind? Yeah. He said, oh, no, you're standing in our building. I said, that's because I can't fly.
I mean, it's just pathetic, isn't it?
When I left, they taped a piece of paper on the floor that said Kent Hovind stood here.
Do you really believe that? That this place taped a piece of paper on the floor where Kent Hovind stood up? It's just absolute nonsense. Another invented story, which none of these minions question in any way.
I'm serious.
I'm serious.
I got them all scared, Joseph. And I'm just a little, non-accredited degree high school science teacher.
Well, you got the first part right, non-accredited degree, but you're not a high school science teacher, kid. You're not. You never have been. You can't count some school operating in a church that has no standards whatsoever and employs just anybody. You can't call that a real high school.
Easy picking, guys. Come on. Okay. Talk sense to a fool, he will think you're foolish. Thanks, Dr. Scott, for tearing Kent apart. I'll tell you what, you watch this debate. Where's it at? National Center for number 4, Science Ed, long time ago, okay? You think she tore me apart? I'm sorry. You didn't watch the same one I did.
Yeah, well, go and watch it. You'll see that she tore him apart. That's why he doesn't put it up.
Pure internet gold. The most amazing thing with these people is that they can argue their side based on a page or two in a 2,000-year-old book. Isn't that amazing? That 2,000-year-old book was correct. It was written by the guy who built the universe. He should know how it's going to end.
So why does he think that it was written by the guy who built the universe? Because it says it was written by the guy who built the universe. It's sort of not really evidence, is it, Kent? It's not evidence at all. The Bible says it's true because the Bible says it's true.
He should know how he did it. And he said 20 times in the first 7 chapters of that 2,000-year-old book that animals and plants will always bring forth after their kind. Show me the exceptions to that. Show me where you've seen it happen.
Well, you know, as many times, there's tiny, tiny little thousands or millions or whatever you want to call it of tiny changes that lead to evolution. So Kent just can't get that through his head. Yeah.
There is zero evidence for evolution.
Okay, folks, thanks for listening to my rebuttal of Kent's nonsense. You know, if you've got any points you want to make in the comments, if I've got something wrong there in my logic or examination or cross-examination, please feel free to say so. But you can see Kent ducks and dives from giving straight answers. He tries to change the topic all the time in small ways. And he's just totally dishonest. Thank you.